Now, another area while I'm in here that I wanted to address is the Hyperflash resistors. If you see in our recent video, I showed just how dangerous these little orange ones can be. And at the time, it was just what I had on hand, so it's what I used. And I was lucky enough I didn't have any issues, no melting plastic or anything. But since I'm in here, I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade it to this, just for the peace of mind. It's not gonna get nearly as hot, and it's going to be far less likely to burn anything on the car if it happens to touch something. Now, the install process and where you're going to want to put these is going to depend on your situation. If you're building the lights and you're shipping them out, then ideally you want to put them on the lights if possible. If you're installing it on the car, you might find it easier to put it on the car wiring. So in the case of this one, I originally put it on the light here. I'm going to remove this, and we're going to go ahead and put this on the vehicle itself. And I'll give you guys a better idea as to how to determine which wires are which. Now, for this part, you are going to need a voltage meter. I'm going right back to this Veneersy thing once again. It works really well, but if you're on a budget or you already have a voltage meter, something like this, you're just going to flip it to the VDC and ideally like 20 volts. You're going to need your factory plug for the light, and lights are going to vary one car to the next. So some cars you might have one main plug for the entire headlight, and some cars you might have multiple plugs for different parts of the headlight. If you have a car that has plugs that go to like the turn signal bulb, that makes it really easy because you only have like 3 wires that you have to check for. But if you're looking at a much larger plug such as this, you're going to have to figure out, of those 8 wires that are on this plug, you're going to have to figure out which one is your turn signal and which one is a good ground. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my ground, and I am going to run that to the ground terminal on the battery here. And that way I just know that I'm not having to try to find a ground in here. And then I'm just going to probe until I see the one that's flashing. Do you want to make sure your turn signals are on for this, or your hazard lights are on? Either one. It can be a little bit tricky in a turn signal because it is on, off, on, off, on, off. You're not going to see a constant 12 volt. You're going to see a pulsating 12 volts. I did figure it out. It is this one here. So I am going to tap into the back wire here. And now I also need to find my ground. So I'm going to go back into auto mode on that, and I'm going to look for continuity. So looking at the back side of the plug here, I found the 2 wires. This is my turn signal wire on the top, and this is my ground for the turn signal on the bottom here. So I'm just going to tap one of these wires into the ground, and we do include these wire taps here, but all you're going to do is just open up this little clamp just like that. You'll put it around the wire like that, and then you'll just take a pair of pliers here and clamp it down until it clips in place. Now, soldering these connections is always a good idea if you are able to do it and comfortable doing it, but in most cases, these are perfectly acceptable and will hold up. Now, you are going to want to secure this in a place so that it doesn't fall into any moving parts in the car.